Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. This is going to be a short video because I don't want to keep it too long. Alright, so I'm using my desktop tonight because I frankly use my laptop. My laptop's turned off. I'm letting it actually cool down before I use it. So there's a couple problems with my laptop, as you guys know. I've done all the scans 20 times, and it comes back to everything's clean. So I think it's either the hard drive's failing, which is a spindle drive, or something else. So my family keeps pestering me, saying, hey, you need to go online. It's like, why? I mean, literally, people don't realize that I don't want to go online anymore. People don't realize that. I get comments, okay? I come on here for the comments and the chat and to give you guys updates. Otherwise, I just don't want to deal with it. I mean, literally, I got a person who I have a lot of moderators I love and respect, and sometimes I'm not big into like the online game movement. Which reminds me, I don't know if my game was installed or uninstalled or whatever. But Among Us, I think that's what it's called or whatever. So I have a couple of updates for you that I want to get done. All right. So as you know, I've been put to work all the time doing reviews and stuff. So I got more reviews to review on cameras. So today, Chloe came in and went through my office. She's trying to clean it. She wants to make her office look presentable for a laptop. Unfortunately, problem is my laptop's got to be replaced. Fortunately, I can't get off my ass big enough to go to the post office because we're in a worry mode. Oh, which reminds me. So I'm sitting here, right? Worry about finances. And I'm worried, that my bills keep going down, that I keep in my purse, and I keep other places. So while I'm talking to you guys, I'm going to count my amount. All right. So basically, I got a couple things to share with you all. One is we have a problem, and it's big, plain and simple. A big problem. All right. Which is Chloe's being kind of grumpy again. So I wanted to share that with you momentarily. So I got up this morning. As you all know, you guys are probably wondering what's going on. I've been watching The Crown. Well, I finished all The Crown. I finished like 6 or 8 episodes of something called The Royal Family, The Windsors. It's all about, a documentary. It's like 8 parts. And then I watched some called The Windsors. It's a comedy thing. Now I either get to watch Tudors or Rain next. It's a theme I'm working on. And one of the things that bothers me the most, and I want to share this, is that bothers me the most, right? I got a family member, right? It feels like I'm getting distance with everyone. I mean, the other day I was telling Pee Wee a story, just a story, how Chloe went ahead and did this and that, and she's like, well, until you get rid of her, you'll take it. Thing is, it's not about taking the whatever it was, I never replied to her because she knows you can't do much with Chloe's mom having enough power in her pinky to fucking crush the fucking army of Venezuela, I mean, her mom is like, and so this morning, I got up and dog woke me up. He's been living with me. And I finally said to Chloe, be nice to Chloe. I said, I need you to go to the store today for me. And she said, oh, okay. And then I said, I need you to go Monday to the store. Well, what if there's a long line and we got to buy another ticket? I said, that's fine. Chloe reminds me of Fergie, Princess Fergie. She's like, the lady who plays in the Windsors, the comedy's like, anyways, who do you love? You love your mama, And so I'm watching this show, and I'm sitting there, right, and I couldn't get the door closed. I couldn't even get into Chloe's room. I said, I need another box mac. Well, yeah, I'll get a box mac and cheese. I finally said, look, I said, it took you fucking 90 minutes yesterday to find the fucking mac and cheese box because you're putting things in stackables, which is commendable, but you need to fucking label them. So she's labeling them all: ramen, chips, Pringles, etc. I said, once we know what we got, then she asked me for another can of Pringles. It's like, look, you keep eating my food. Well, I never talked before myself, so whatever. Just don't eat them all. If I fucking find my can empty, I'm going to be angry. So basically, she started in on the things, and I finally said, look, I said, you know as well as I do that your mom basically will take you as a last resort if you get me evicted. And that means I'm homeless, which means I get to be frozen. Well, apparently, I'm hoping in a last minute emergency thing that if something does happen to me, I have a place to fall back at. Pee Wee said I'm always welcome there, but I'm hoping my cousin and I, we find a nice little place for fly fishing, Yeah, but the thing is, I don't want to be evicted. I mean, my family knows I love it too much here. Unfortunately, I got fucking loudmouth McGee that, and so I'm always telling her to keep it down. She's like, you're just fucking Shelby lover. You're a fucking Mexican lover. No, I love all people, but the thing is you don't dwell on the past. Literally, I dwell on the past and what she's done in the current, like today. But anyways. So I told her I'd get on this morning early, and I got to tell you, another reason I haven't done videos is I'm more focused on burning this weight off, and I'm getting angry. I mean, literally, we got pouring down rain. We got a rabbit who's, look how adorable he is. We got a little adorable rabbit, and the other thing is there's nothing. I keep reading about stimulus checks and this and that and how, Chloe's last night, right, I was sitting there watching TV. She's like, I finally said, dude, do you come with a fucking volume control? Oh, yeah. I said, do you ever fucking have an off button? Why? I said, I'm watching fucking TV. And then she says, oh, you're mad. And I'm like, no. Literally, I can't I won't be mad at her, okay? Thing is, I refuse to be mad. She can be all mad at him, mighty, So I finally got her to fucking label things. I also told her unless she fucking takes Amazon or fucking Amazon for canned goods, she's just gonna fucking fail. I mean, literally. I mean, I went out today, right? And I literally said to my to a family member the other day, again, I was messaging a family member that asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I said, well, I wouldn't mind a new set of towels or sheets, I mean. This is a sheet. As you can see, it's like 600 thread count, but as you can see, it's tearing. These sheets are like 5 years old, and they get washed once a year. And because of it, I had to go find a jury rig set of sheets for my mattress because I don't have anything. Literally. And people say, oh, well, I mean, literally, my family knows I have a pillow top mattress. If anyone looks, look, this is a pillow top mattress. See? I had to jury rig some pillow top. See? It needs the deep pockets. And it sits on the bed frame that I made. And everything is contrary to my needs. So, anyways, she just didn't have a care in the world. The computer came first, I'm like, look, we're living almost in winter time. I said our electric bill just spiked about 200 kilowatts. Oh, why? Well, because we got to have heat. She's got the back room heated 24/7 basically, and she's got it all clear and everything. I tell her, look. I mean, last night she yelled at me because I left the burner on. I left it on like 0, which means or half a 0.5, which is like warm, right? So I had my mac and cheese last night, and it was really interesting, And she's like, "Oh, you're forgetful." Well, maybe I am, but last night I was looking for something too I couldn't find. But you know what? I basically gave it up. Where she turns around last night, throws a shit fit. She's got this water bottle for a bike. And she was beating the living shit out of herself, basically. Like, oh, I can't find it, screaming and yelling. And literally, I mean, hurts herself over a water bottle. I'm sitting there going, dude, take a chill pill. We'll find it. Eventually, she found it. She's like, oh, I never put it there. I'm like, really? I mean, literally, this is why, you know, I got some more coffee to drink soon, but this is, you know. So I thought I'd get on today and share with you, you know, that, you know, I'm getting the place clean too. That's the other thing. I'm working my ass off. She's angry. She ain't gonna get her laptop. Thing is she keeps hitting the fucking table out of anger and stuff, and the table shaking. My hard drive's not a solid state, so it could be failing, is what the computer guy said. So it means to replace it because it's out of warranty. It cost me approximately $400. Put that on Windows. So again, they're like, oh, nerd. Well, your computer is a solid state, and you've beaten the shit out of your computer for 6 years. Mine isn't. And so to me, you know, also I have to have a big enough screen. So it's just been a big complicated issue, you know, with Chloe. And, you know, I mean, literally we got Christmas coming around the corner. So today she yells at me about shaving cream, right? I mean, literally, she left a spare can of shaving cream, right? Shaving gel. And I usually use it for my legs, you know. It's like, oh, she's like, oh, no, it's a dab. She goes, takes a dab, you know, and there's not enough there. You know, she's like, you know, and I'm like, well, what's the difference? Well, you know, with me, I go since in the last 6 months, we've used over 48 cans of shaving cream / shaving gel due to the fact that they have to, I need it for my legs daily. You know, my family's literally worried about me for 2 reasons. One is I'm worried about them because I am distant. I'm literally freaking distant, you know, with them. I don't even talk to them. My family, they're basically messaging. They're like, I'm bored, you know. And I mean, literally, I'm distant. And, you know, the reason I'm distant is because I just don't care. You know, I mean, I talk to them and they're like, I'm bored, go live. Well, I don't want to go live. I'm not in the mood to go live. The reason I'm not in the mood is because I got so many things on my mind. I got Christmas coming. I got Thanksgiving coming. I mean, do you know how hard it is to wake up in the morning, people, and go, oh, Thanksgiving's 5 days away, but we don't have any Thanksgiving supplies because Tweedledum Dum won't do it. Oh, Monday. Literally, I told them to take some cash out of the pocket for bus fare. I mean, literally, basically, I told them to go and take a little cash out, you know. Fortunately, we're basically getting screwed, you know. They need cash, they're going to need to get cash, you know, at least whatever, you know. So they better get some cash back for the bus because they're talking about going again, you know. Who the hell is this? Freaking weirdo. Has to show a gun. Sorry, but if you're on YouTube or whatever and you're making it and that's a real gun and you're brandishing it on YouTube, that should basically tell you, you know, all you need to know. But anyways, enough about that. So this morning, like I said, got out of bed and I was like, yeah, you know, but then Chloe started, you know, saying, you know, because me, I always give her mom a report, you know, and again, she's like, you know, you did it, you know, and accused me of, you know, hating her. Well, I just like Chloe, literally. People need to know I do everything for Chloe, and yet I dislike her. You know, I mean, literally, I dislike how she raises her voice. She won't come with a volume control, tells us everyone to fuck off. I mean, look, the grocery store incident. I mean, even my cousin Dinky knows that basically telling someone to fuck off means, you know, I'm a real woman, fuck off. And that's what got them in trouble at the grocery store. And that last night, it was all about fucking, you know, will they re-up the lease or will they not or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do, but I don't care. I want to be normal, you know. I want to wake up in the morning and be like, great day, no heart pain, no chest pain. Chloe, she can basically turn around and 1 minute she's nice, next minute she's fucking raging mad lunatic wanting to kill. Oh, by the way, she was saying, oh, I heard Princess Diana was borderline. Who cares? I mean, literally, they say the same about Prince Charles. Well, who cares, you know? I mean, look, I'm stuck in here, so to me it doesn't matter, you know. But you know, so I thought tonight would be a good night to relax. You know, I mean, today's the 21st. Got through the doctor's appointment, by the way. That Vander Jess was worried about that the other day and its hives, but the doctor told me to check with another doctor, so I got another appointment. You know, the point is, my doctor turned around, right? My doctor turned around. She literally stated, she says, "Oh, are you sleeping days?" I said, "I'm sleeping days so I can avoid Chloe." And she says, "What does that mean to you, Chloe?" Chloe's like, "I don't know, but you know." I'm not working. That thing, I don't work. I told her if I was going to work, it'd more likely be, what's this? Ben Gay with lidocaine sounds good to me. So she turns around, you know, and she's like, "Well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do?" You know, and I was like, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do," you know. And so, well, you know, so um, yeah, so I mean, I got Christmas orders coming in and Christmas orders going out. I got, you know, depression, minor depression, because, you know, let me tell you why I'm depressed. Okay, so the other day I went and I took all the garbage bags and stacked them up. The manager turned around because she was down in the hall, told me to get them up to the dumpster. Well, Chloe, of course, took her a while. She got mad. I'm sorry to say, but you know, the thing is we got two problems here right now. We got gnats, which I've given all the formula from Dinky to Chloe to go get the instructions at the hardware store. She refuses. Two is Chloe's been letting a lot of stuff lay. You know why we got gnats? I'll tell you the problem we have gnats. Chloe sits there and makes dinner. Then, when she's not hungry, she leaves the rest of her food on the table and cooks it up 12 hours later. By that point, there's gnats all over, but she'll just put it in the oven, you know. This is why I think she needs a group home. That is why I keep telling you guys these things, because look, I mean, the toilet's broken, right? Every time I go into the bathroom, I usually flush it with a giant bucket, right? Fill the bucket up, fill the thing up, goes down on the toilet, everything, right? Boy, leave the fucking piss and shit in the toilet and leave. And then when I go in there, there's gnats and little bugs in there, and I gotta fucking spray this, do that, and then fucking drain it. And I'm like, Chloe, she's like, that's what triggered her today. I mean, literally, let me put it this way. She eats food 12 hours later. She won't fucking listen to me when I say take the fucking the toilet, right? We have all the toilet parts. I told her, go down to the hardware store and get me a shop vac. I'll fix the toilet. I can't. I mean, literally, management says until this place is clean, literally, they don't want to enter our place. They think it might be a botulism factory, jokingly, of course. You know, I knew a guy that lived in a botulism factory and the place smelled bad. But, you know, so she turns around, you know, and she gets mad because I said, hey, flush the toilet. Because, you know, and I tell her clean the bunny cage once a week. She's, you know, so what happened was, again, you know, this is a laughing joking matter, is I went ahead and I opened up the other day, right? I opened up the other day, right? The garbage can. You know, that's how come I had to empty it. And Chloe did it, but now it's full again, right? So I've been cleaning out the fridge little bit by little bit, cleaning the fridge, you know, and then I want to get the countertop done, right? You know, the kitchen, all it needs is counters wiped down, which I'm doing. You know, but I'm also doing a ton of dishes. I mean, literally, I'm doing dishes galore. Every time I turn around, neighbors basically complaining to the managers are like, well, your dishwasher within 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. is fine, so I use it. But the rest of the time, she's complaining about me and my TV. She asked me if I can move my TV to the other end of the apartment. I like my TV this way because of the window, but I will tell you, I'd rather have it a different way. But because the cable jacks are there, it's easier, you know. So she's, you know, but I like watching my TV, you know. And so, you know, so with me, I try to keep it quiet. You know, the only time that the neighbors complain is when Chloe's basically squabbling about something in the wee hours in the morning. And I've learned basically, you know, the people, you know, I used to cope with alcohol, but you know, I basically sit there and eat a goodie of the evening. So Chloe starts in, I'll smoke my weed. And when I'm done with my weed, I'll smoke some more weed, you know, off and on. Meanwhile, I'm up, you know, relaxing, doing other things like running on my treadmill and everything else. She's like, So to me, I'm just like, whatever, you know. But Chloe's mom always emails and says, not to worry. But yeah, I mean, I literally cannot believe, what's going on. So I decided to come on, for a bit. I mean, literally, she can't fucking flush the toilet. Literally. I mean, literally leaves fucking shit and piss in there with toilet paper, and I gotta fucking go in there, and then I gotta fucking run the bucket, then I gotta empty it, then run it again and again until it's fucking flushed. Then I gotta fucking let it match. While dealing with a little bit of fucking, hello, Hannah, with a little bit of fucking gnats, gnats. Literally gnats. And so I got rid of the gnats today, and Chloe's like, what it is, and Chloe's leaving fucking diapers adult diapers she's wearing because she claims her horny erection dysfunctional disorder, where she's got to masturbate all the time, makes it so she loses her incontinence and she's got to use a diaper all the time. So she's like, I need to buy diapers next month. Well, those are items you can just wrap up and put under the Christmas tree and say Merry Christmas. She doesn't like that idea. I mean, literally. I mean, the other day she was asking me about what needs to be done around the house. And I said, look, Thanksgiving's in 4 days. Do you think you can have this place cleaned in 4 days? I don't think so. I mean, literally, she's worried about her president getting into the office so much that she can't do anything yet. It's one excuse after the other. She got Biden in, so why should we complain? But no, now she's worried about it. But meanwhile, I got to sacrifice. So I'm getting to the point where I don't want to sacrifice my time on YouTube because there's nothing to talk about. And, all I'm getting is, hey, I wonder, is the Christmas background available on my video? Because I know the video control panel's right here. Nope. So I guess the control panel's not there. I would love to have the Christmas background, I used to use it, so. But anyways, I sent Chloe to get some dip, and then I was going to review tonight. And then afterwards, I was going to relax, as I told Hannah, because, I got to find my review list, my clipboard, The internet's been kind of running slow today. So I ran a speed test. It's up there. It's just because I'm uploading and downloading on this computer. So, I got to tell you a story, everyone, a personal story, Like I said, Chloe finally labeled everything where everything was because she's like, well, I didn't hide it, What's this? Hopefully it's not a stream game. All right, so I'll have to watch the trailer eventually of that. So, but anyways, like I said, I was kind of upset, Hannah was asking me in an email about my computer. I got it all scanned. I just haven't turned it on. I refused to turn on. So it seems Chloe went to the store, only got me one can. Probably because it's original flavor. Dip her on Chloe. Well, Chloe basically, went to get my dip. But, she needs to learn to flush the toilet, and she needs to basically, realize that, she wants me to be protected here in this castle while I don't get sick because, I'm already sick to a point, you know. So, you know, but anyways, but yeah. So I got computer to order. I got stuff to do, and Chloe was asking me about more gifts, and so I got to go watch reviews again, which is time consuming, you know. You know, so keep telling Chloe to check in with her mom, but she doesn't want it. She just doesn't want to do anything of the sort, you know. I always encourage her to check in with her mom, you know. So I did find out Disney Plus allows parties up to 3 to watch movies. So I was thinking, you know, eventually maybe me and Hannah can watch something at Disney together. She's got an internet connection; she can watch it as well as I could. You know, I got Disney Plus, so I can all I have to do is send the link to the email. Send that to my father-in-law, and he's just like, "Oh, okay." You know, but we watched the Comey Rule jointly on Wednesday. That was pretty good, you know, and we talked about it, and that was it, you know. He was asking me how come I was half asleep in the chair, and I was like, dude, I've seen the movie, but I was a little tired, you know. The other reason I got up late today was because I slept like 10 hours because I was tired. Because the previous day I had to get up after 3 hours of sleep to go see the doctor. So I spent all day finishing up Crown, and then I was watching 6 episodes or 7 episodes of this thing called The Royal Family Windsors, and then I watched 3 seasons of Windsors, which is like 5 hours. I mean, 3 seasons of 30 minutes. It is pretty funny, you know, how they make fun of the royals. And, you know, the problem is Queen never once was in on it. They're like, the Queen emailed, the Queen emailed, everything was run by Prince Charles, you know, Camilla, you know. And I thought that was pretty damn funny, too. So, you know, what is those? Are those goose? What is that? Turkeys. So they're turkeys. I didn't know those were turkeys. Turkeys was spared for Thanksgiving dinner, you know. Which I want to make a turkey, you know, soon. So I got to get into the freezer probably Tuesday to defrost things for Thanksgiving, you know. So hopefully we have turkey ready to go. You know, I got to make a big dinner, which means Chloe's gonna have to clean on Thursday while I'm literally slaving in the kitchen all day. I'll be baking pies and cakes, cookies, and other things. So this is the holiday season, so I got to be on my best bet, you know. So have dinner, you know. I told father-in-law I would Zoom with him on Thursday to Thanksgiving, and we could watch a movie together. Uh, you know, something or other, you know, because it's the holidays, and so I did get my money's worth out of Disney. They did put in the third edition of the Chronicles of Narnia. I'm hoping the other 4 books get made into movies. I'd love to see how that plays out, you know. So I've been focusing on video games and TV shows and movies, you know, and I still got to finish up Elementary and Sherlock and, you know, decide if I want to watch some Rain or Tudors next, you know. But yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, The Crown is an interesting movie or TV show because they literally basically make it really interesting. You know, the King of England abdicated his throne, his brother took over, his brother dies. You know, then his daughter Elizabeth takes over, and Elizabeth is basically, you know, has to learn protocols. And you know, it's like, you know, they talked about a lot of different problems in through the English monarch. You know, like, you know, and talks about things like Princess Diana and Princess Charles and, you know, all these people. You know, and I thought it was really good. You know, And to me, I thought it was really, really cool, because, the royal line, is really interesting, but at the same time, it's like, a lot of people say, oh, well, and, the prime minister has more freedoms, I think, than the queen. The queen, she has to contact her guards. Her guards have to make arrangements and everything else, and and with all of the things of internet ordering nowadays, I think that makes it easier. But still, with me, if I was royalty, I'd be fishing one, But that's just me. My family has royal bloodlines throughout the years, but still, I could. Chloe's like, oh, I could never be a royal because I have to go shopping. Well, you know what? That's where the internet comes in. I mean, they were explaining in how the royal family apparently has like a little room where they go into, and the queen sees girls wearing designer dresses, and she picks from those things. It's like, you know, but and I understand the queen puts the crown first, but the problem is if you put the crown first in any family, by the movie or the TV show The Crown, then they would literally turn around and put the crown first over even Charles or William or Harry or whatever, and so to me, I thought it was, really interesting because you got the crown, you got, all these family problems, and season 5 and 6 is going to really open up when it comes to see how well it works, but I found it to be like, really, really interesting, how, the royal family, they can have anything they want, but, the problem is, they're stuck behind doors, it's like they're there to be seen but not heard, when they are heard, they're heard, otherwise, you're just stuck, indoors and outdoors and whatever else, and I thought that was really interesting, how they were talking about hunting and fishing and, you know, so, and I thought it was really good, because of the problems, you got all these people doing whatever they want, and yet, you know, I mean, it's just, so I got reviews to watch tonight, and tomorrow, and Monday, which Monday, if Chloe goes to Walmart, I'll be doing live uh, spreadsheets. I got 15 to do. My cousin's like, well, hurry up. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I still got others to do, but, I'm basically taking my time because I'm freaking lazy. And that's the thing, I mean, people think I'm lazy, but the thing is, I got accounting to do for Chloe, managing and all this crap, and yet, I got to make sure we have for Thanksgiving. Chloe's like, oh, I want green bean casserole. Fine, you get the ingredients. I'll make it bacon. So green bean casserole, bacon. That'll be really good, And so I will be doing a green bean casserole, with dinner and stuff, and so, I gotta have the fridge clean, the pipe clean, the countertops clean, everything else done, and then I'll be ready to work in the kitchen all day Thursday, and then making leftovers. I also want to get the crock pot prepared to make soups, and have turkey soup, you know. And we're down to 4 Salisbury steak family dinners in the freezer before I have to rotate out, other things. So, but still, it's time consuming, So I'm just resting and relaxing, because right after Thanksgiving, remember you have Black Friday where everyone wants a stimulus check to get Christmas gifts, and there is none. They say at the end of the year, things will happen, and I heard rumors we're not going to get extended food stamps tomorrow, Yeah, or not tomorrow, next month, because it's done. It's done deal. You know. So anyway, so like I said, when Chloe gets back, I gotta watch reviews, and then when I'm done with watching reviews, I will restart my desktop again, and then I will focus on the rest of the night watching um, TV. So hope I told Chloe, that she needs to quit destroying my happiness and my peace. And she says, "Oh, you do that yourself, really?" By basically having her be combative, about not flushing the toilet, and just leaving it in there, and then gnats are floating around. I mean, literally. I mean, I had to use matches and everything else, clear the smell and everything else, and so she shouldn't basically take away my peace only because she doesn't want anyone to. I mean, literally, I turned around and I told her, "I said, you're hurt. You want to hurt people. You want to hurt the neighbors. You want to hurt my cousin. You want to do anything you can, to do whatever." But she's like, "When we're evicted, I'm gonna go call CPS on the neighbor 500 times." What's the point? I mean, literally. So we had a guy the other day basically message, was watching me, and he insulted me again about Chloe. It's like, look, Chloe's mom doesn't want Chloe home. Chloe's, we tried to, last time we got a tractor was Arizona, so we think it's either grandmother or one of Chloe's ex-friends, Thing is, Chloe's on the lease, and there's nothing I can do about it, and so I'm trying to teach Chloe to learn. I mean, look at Chloe. She yells at me over shaving cream. "Oh, you need a dab of shaving gel," and it's like, you know, and yet she was like all perky. "Oh, you bought more shaving gel?" "Yes, I did." "Oh, well, when's it coming?" You see, she doesn't care about anyone but herself when her shaving gel's in, or her razors are in, or her, you know. The other day, she wanted hand lotion, so I ordered some a couple months ago. I got like 8 bottles, right? It's the wrong brand. So I had to go around and buy another 12 bottles of something else. I mean, literally. The other night I had ramen because I didn't want Salisbury steaks. Salisbury steaks isn't bad to eat. The problem is you got to change your diet once in a while. If you eat Salisbury steaks 3, 4 times, and. So it's really complicated. So. But that's I tried to tell her, let me relax, don't bother me, and she's just like, "Oh, well, you're." She brings up the neighbor that raped her every fucking day, so that's when I get into the pot. Lady stole from me, so the neighbor. So to me, I don't like the neighbor. I don't bring up the neighbor. I've replaced everything I've lost, but for Chloe's sake, she's just like. So, little guy's chewing on his log right now, by the way. He's being a good little bunny. Today, Moppy kept ramming me with his coat on his head because Moppy wanted, what it is that Mop wanted? He wanted the bunny. I'm like, no, bunny is not for mops. So, yeah, I was asking Chloe. I said, "Did any packages come in?" She's like, "Yeah, packages came." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I, on the other hand, am looking at, you know, watching some camera reviews, gaming reviews, and then I'll be set for the night. Yeah, I was looking at the camera lenses too. Chloe's always talking about lenses, and when you buy a camera, you got to basically buy a camera and realize what you can and can't afford, can and can't afford lens wise. You know, So, so Canon and Nikon apparently have better deals on it. I heard the royal family uses the royal family uses the queen herself uses apparently like a $8,000 digital camera. For she likes photography. And it's like she uses Leica. But you got to look at the prices of the glass too before you decide to get into the ecosystem, because the more expensive the lenses. I also heard Olympus and Panasonic stopped making cameras. So you gotta look at the glass price here. And then they have mirrorless lenses too. You can get mirrorless lenses. And then you got to find out what, which is which, how much is which. You know. So, anyways, that's what's going on right now. But yeah, Pee Wee turned around. She says, you can take so much. Problem is, once I finally got Chloe to find me my mac and cheese, I was a lot happier, because we should have had it in the pantry or in my office. Once you figure out that, you can choose your ecosystem with affordability. So, but anyways, so I got some reviews to watch, and then, like I said, I got gaming reviews to watch, because I got to find my clipboard so I can actually do my work. Hey, Ma, what's up? That's gaming reviews. Well, where's the movie? Where's that reviews I was working on? I don't know. You had a Christmas list, did you not, Bobby? I don't know what happened to Christmas list. This is reviews I got to go through again. I just can't remember where my notes are for everything I was working on. Let's see. Games. 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 Right here. And the games. Yeah, so I got this. And I got these. So I found my list. So. Gee, I was looking at my balance and it was like $8 for 2 cans. What, they're giving us a better deal now? Really?
I think they might have dropped the price on. I'm not sure, but yeah.
So let me guess, this is the last 2 cans for the week.
I didn't think you want more, but I can always pick you up more anytime. I got more.
So, anyways, like I said, everyone, I told you guys when Chloe got back, I would focus on reviews.
I gotta take him out again.
Reviews for us, and Monday's gonna be busy, so I got spreadsheets to do Monday. Chloe's got groceries to pick up Monday. She might have to wait in line like everyone else at Walmart or Safeway, depending. I haven't checked the Safeway ad yet. Which I might just check Safeway right now. And so let's just check Safeway real quick.
Walmart, there'll be lines out there.
My problem is I really want to get my groceries taken care of.
Yeah, I'll get them taken care of. If I have to wait out in the cold all day, I will. I don't want to, but I'll do it so you don't bitch and complain to other people about it.
Do I bitch and complain? No, I don't. But you shouldn't be basically treating me like crap right now either.
I'm just saying that Safeway has just as good as deals as Walmart times.
Yeah, possibly.
So I might just go there instead because I can get there much earlier than I can get to Walmart.
You hear that one? So she turned around and she was complaining, that I complained too much about her. And as you just heard me say, she was just treating me like crap. You see, she used all her food stamps up. And I'm sitting on a whole boatload more. So to me, the problem is trying to find a deal, So let's see. So ham, prime, New York half roast. I don't want a New York half roast. So they got ham available, but nothing on turkey, I don't think. Got any turkeys available? Nope. All right, so let's see. So ham's available. That's the only thing they have. That must mean they're out of turkeys this time around. Well, hold on. So in the meat department, they got bratwurst on sale. Woohoo! Sandwich meats on sale. Woohoo! New York steaks this time. They didn't have T-bone. T-bones were last week, so you got spiral sliced, half cut, or smoked. Right there, there's a smoked ham right there. Sounds good. Hempler's always makes good ham. 20-pound turkey, $1.29. Beef rib roast. There it goes. Rib roasts. So I can do prime rib too. Signature farm shank, half or whole hams right there. So you get ham. Organic turkey. Young turkey. Hucklesuckle freshly turkey. Butterball turkey. Hold on, I'm looking at this. Oh, turkey, prime rib. Okay, then you got a king crab tray, snow crab, Alaskan snow crab right there. I always look for shrimp. Have Chloe pick me up a shrimp, one of those large shrimpers. Then for that, they got soda and cheese balls. Definitely need my cheese balls. Definitely my cheese balls. Philadelphia cream cheese, yeah. Oh, they got the essentials here this time, so you can get a buy one, get one free again with card. But do I even have my Safeway card with me? I'll have to look. So, I got Safeway, buy one, get one free there. K-Cups are cold brew. I'm always looking for a good coffee, Then you got $5.99 for Folgers coffee. That's not bad. It's a good deal, actually. So, buy two, get one free on cookware. See, that's a good deal. Dial soap and stuff. That's good. Holiday savings, wrapping papers, 33% bearers are on there. See, that's what I'm looking for right there. Great deals, you know. So, anyways, the reason I don't like Safeway is because they don't have Chubs and hamburger, and we need to get hamburger, you know. So, Chloe the other day was going through some of the mac and cheese, and she had to throw out 4 boxes because it was expired of October 2019, and we bought it in April. So it was like they sold us expired. So I emailed them. They're like, "Well, it's out of our time window. You should have checked beforehand." And I was like, "You know what? If you're selling expired boxes, there's a problem." So So I was out like $20, and they're just like, "Well, sorry to tell you this, you know." So to me, I was like, okay. So, anyways, so I got reviews to watch tonight, reviews to watch tomorrow, Monday, spreadsheets, which means Monday will be probably an all coffee day till Chloe gets back from the from Anacortes. I haven't checked Walmart. I should see if they sold out of everything again. You know, because I always have everything in cart. That's when Chloe's like, well, I gotta wait in line. And, you know, I mean, the stores are running at 25% capacity, so they cut it down. It was running supposedly 30%, So let's see what's available in my shopping cart still. There we go. So they still have the stuff here that I was telling Chloe about, So I told Chloe, check it out. She's like, well, yeah. So should check Costco and see about that computer price again. I think they raised it $200, so I got it for 700, but I thought I could get my computer up and running first and get Chloe her, so she's not playing, but she's just playing as usual. So, anyways, I'm just like, okay, they gained another one. So they're adding more every day, every 2 or 3 days. They're adding a new brand. So So, anyways, the reason I don't have much to say on YouTube anymore is because, well, there's not enough to talk about, um, between stimulus checks and current administration. I try to avoid it, and, you know, I'm okay, Justin. I'm just here for a bit. I'm going back to watch TV soon, and reviews. I do utilize my internet a lot right now while being stuck indoors. You know, I just finished The Crown and two other shows. So, it was about the royal family. What I was watching lately is about the royal family. And how much hell they had to go through during like the last 60 or 70 years. I hear there's a political drama called Tudors, 1600s, and one called Reign, which seems cool. So, and the other one's called House of Cards. That looks interesting too. So, and I got West Wing. So, Chloe wanted to watch a movie by Naomi Watts, Diana. It's about the last 2 months. I might watch that one soon. So, no, I haven't, but I have Hulu and Netflix, so I might as well utilize it while I'm stuck indoors, you know. Sorry, my pants fell down a bit. So I gotta figure dinner out too tonight. So Commander Jess said he'd check out the video. Oh yeah, I got plenty of lamb left. I'm just still hoarding it because it's hard to get a hold of lamb right now. I mean, whole lamb is hard to get a hold of, because the farmer is not available. So I've been hoarding everything. Oh wow, new article here. So it says we're out of toilet paper, paper towels, turkey, and bacon. So, So again, stores are empty again. So Kraft is making new demands for cheese. She said even garbage bags are taking. Another thing I was thinking about ordering for my entertainment for Christmas is Animal Crossing. South Carolina, So, all right.
All right, Moppy, there you go.
Hey, Chloe, news article for you.
Uh-huh.
The Morrison Hotel in Seattle has been shut down completely forever due to the pandemic.
Wow. Shelters gone forth.
Yep.
Moppy.
Downtown Emergency Service Center, DESC, is closed. So it says here, it might never reopen. Here's what we're replacing. And it talks about too many people mentally ill. Guy in a wheelchair was black guy in a wheelchair with schizophrenia. He's been living there for years, apparently.
Wow.
The reason I told Chloe about the story is she was in the DESC.
What's going to happen to those homeless people? Are we going to just kill them off?
No, then we're gonna try to find another place to do it, but all the homeless shelters in the state is filled.
So where they just put them in jail?
No, it's not about being on an island. That's the hardest part, Justin. What the problem is with the lamb is when it comes to lamb, okay, I could do lamb for Thanksgiving. That's not a problem. I can tell Chloe just to go get basic items at Safeway and it'd be fine. Problem with the lamb is we're on an island, yes, but the problem is everyone sucked up everything from the farmers and the grocery stores. So the grocery store is bone clear here, or bone picked clean off the bones. What happened is the farmers, because everyone is going to the slaughterhouses till October of 2021, and being on an island, you got to go to Bow, Washington, which is about 70 miles from here. What happens is the farmers can't get a slot for lamb. So the earliest she can do lamb slots is January. So we're going to have lamb in January. So we're going to have 8 lambs slaughtered in January, unless you can slaughter less. And so, but being on an island, it's not about, oh, you live on an island, it's hard. No, you can basically order Amazon. The problem with Amazon, as Chloe knows, is Amazon is taking too long in the pandemic. I mean, literally, the problem is you get on Amazon, you place an order. Sometimes they'll say 2 days to deliver, but it'll take 12 to 14 because, they're backlogged. For example, they say toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies at first. The diapers, then, baby wipes, etc. Fortunately, I'm going to get some more coffee real quick. Unfortunately, the problem with living on an island is they're relying on the warehouses to fill everything in a timely manner. Hello, Boo Boo. Look how cute he is, Chloe.
Puppy Mops. Puppy Puppy. I love Monty. I love money too. All right.
There we go. So, coffee. So, like I said, Justin, living on an island is a blessing. Unfortunately, the problem isn't about living on the island, okay? Let me tell you what the problem is on the island. There's a couple of problems. One is because the ferry service is demanding only essential travel off the island. We keep getting it. By the way, I haven't checked the paper today, but did you know in the last week we've spiked like 16 plus cases? I mean, literally, we're going through the roof. So they're trying to tell us to stay, but let's check that out real quick. I'm gonna check the ferries because I always check the ferries daily, everyone, see if there's a delay. Because with the ferries, by the way, there's Big Edmunds Bremerton's down to one boat yet again. And another boat was
So
see, like this. If you need to use the Seattle, Bainbridge Island, Bremerton route, the toilets
this
are
town's gonna
broken.
become a ghost town.
The Puyallup delayed. Number one slip is out of service due to a power outage in Seattle. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to fix a pass bridge. Vehicle and bike traffic. Portable water is not available in Mukilteo, Clinton. And it says advise. This is what it's saying. They can tell you who can board and who isn't. So, but anyways, I want to check the times real quick. The local rag in this area. So we click on this, the coronavirus information, and it'll tell us right here. So currently San Juan's got over 60 cases. So it says here you can't go, the state says you can't go to Thanksgiving dinners. Oh, here it is. I want to read this. For the first time before the pandemic, 100 homeless people might be sleeping on bunks and mats to escape for decades, mental illness, addiction, or physical. Now it's empty. The inhabitants were moved to another hotel in Renton. As the pandemic forced shelter operators to distance residents, they're in the same individual rooms, and the nonprofit runs the Morrison wants to keep it that way. So anyone who's there has to stay in their rooms 20 times. Dan Malone. Do you know Dan? The director? The director of the Downtown Emergency Service Center, DESC, has vowed never again to open a large-scale shelter where several people share close living quarters, often called the congregate shelter. Now it's pressuring the city and county to do the same for thousands of beds locally. We have been disenchanted to the model for a long time, but never found the strength to insist on making it humane until the pandemic. Now we plan to not go back to that way of doing things. So there you go. So that's basically
most of the people in the shelter, if you weren't in crisis respite, you pretty much are in a big, huge room, and there are beds that are like all over the place, and there are a lot of people sleeping in there. And there are a lot of people out there who just sleep in the hallways.
Iran's closing business, the G20 summit in whatever. Yep. So let's see. There we go. Hold on. We have thousands of people in English in shelter because there's no affordable housing left in the country. Hear that? Debbie Thiel, managing director. Okay, people like Malone see another on permanent support housing. His agents' shelters often need more than just an apartment key to thrive. Permanent supported housing, unfortunately, well-kept secret. So it's a risk to get someone with mental and drug use disorders off the street, but it hasn't been heavily funded by the federal government for years. That's part because it comes with a high upfront cost. Nonprofits have to patch together funding for each project, federal, state, city. 90% of Morrison hotel residents. Chloe was a resident, by the way. Severe persistent psychiatric disorders. And 70% has substance use disorders. In some cases, it doesn't work. From July 2019 to August 2020, at least 3% of people newly placed permanent support housing in King County returned to homelessness within a year. Housing ready versus housing first. Dodge Nearing Jr. might still cycle through state hospitals, rehab his parents' house in the streets without permanent supportive housing. Nearing first came to the Morrison Hotel, paranoid schizophrenic addict and with a felony record. He says he was in 1979, the year DESE was founded. Through the agency's record, don't go that far. His disease and self-medication led to Nearing lighting himself on fire, possibly suicide attempt during his brother. And the DESE records are an act of behest of his illness. He lost his leg and the fingers on his left hand. I thought people were trying to kill me. It was a struggle to survive, much less support himself. For decades after Nearing's parents would attempt to take care of him, but his mental state and drug use provide too much. He'd be back in the hospital or on the street. So, does that guy look familiar?
I've never seen him. I don't remember that guy.
As state hospitals move away from institutionalizing patients, they often offered them bus tickets to downtown Seattle at the same time. The rough but cheap single-room occupancy hotels were disappearing in downtown Seattle, brought down by tightening fire codes and steamrolled by urban renewal. Nearing has increased few options to avoid the street. Malone, then a young Jesuit volunteer who started working at DSC in 1989, saw the shift happen in real time. City of Seattle, a group of churches, and the Washington Alliance for Mentally Ill agreed to open the Morrison Hotel shelter with feared barriers to entry. So even people with serious mental illness who drank or used drugs could get in. It was a new approach at the time for Seattle shelters, which mostly run by religious organizations, focused on people getting into the faith-based recovery program. First, most of the residents were people down on their luck who needed the help and found work and could save up enough money to move out of the shelter. In the 90s, that shifted to largely people like Nearing, whose issues meant they could never climb out of poverty. 2000, Nearing returned to an agitated state. Staff reported he yelled at the air, couldn't hold on to his clothing, had his wheelchair stolen out from under him more than once. Morrison was more than just a shelter. By this, in 2008, 2 hotel rooms above the shelter space in Morrison were renovated by the Seattle Housing Authority, turned into a permanent supportive housing. Nearing was one of the first to get his own rooms. DESC is originally prioritized housing for people who were housing ready, prepared to try to stay sober, and those struggling with mental illness weren't too intense, but that meant the rest were stuck with their congregated shelter or the street. And their issues often got worse. So the nonprofit started to put people up in housing where they were still using drugs and struggling with mental illness. Strategies called Housing First. Years before the term caught on nationally. Now, Nearing has a mental health caseworker, a housing case manager, checks on him every day. A worker cleans his apartment, and a doctor who's in the building. Nearing Social Security checks combined with Section 8 voucher tied to the room pays his rent. Nearing completed his chemical dependencies, years-long crack use. He still drinks sometimes, but not in the way that causes problems himself or other tenants. DESC has an influence local and federal policy regarding help for homeless people to get off the street and into housing. Research done at the facilities that function like the Morrison shows that success saving the city in terms of reduction in 911 response. Model was later adopted at national level. Steve Berg, yada, yada, yada. We think of them as leader in that way. Okay. Organizations, an agency still offers what it did at DESC's found congregate shelter. No alternative. More people are in need. We're going to get rid of it, even though alleviation of suffering really. Build enough permanent support housing to replace these spots. City and county need massive, at least $1.6 billion in the city of Washington. According to one estimate for Third Door Coalition, sorted housing is 6,500 units minimum. That's double what exists right now. The coalition 1.6 would cover construction, followed by millions per year in maintenances and services. The double what exists right now, okay, Portland and LA have approved massive bonds and taxes in recent years, built thousands of units of supportive housing. But the Seattle area is just beginning to set aside significant money from a levy recently passed state sales tax to do the same. Right now, close to 700 taxpayer-funded units are currently in development under construction in Seattle, according to the Seattle Office of Housing. Almost 200 being built in Shoreline and Kent, according to the county. Almost half of those will be owned by DESC, the center organization of a quarter of what exists, plus 100 under construction and 320 in the pipeline. They're largely financed by public and philanthropist dollars. Actually saying goodbye to congregate shelter might not be in the offering. The declaration that the Morrison Hotel won't reopen as a challenge of the public. The city and county director. They acknowledge that even though they were quote unquote doing their best and an organization were doing right by the people, profound and brave, I think they need to be recognized because in fact none of us is doing right by the homeless people. Here we go. So
they're never going to get anything done for homeless.
So there you go, everyone. So just to share that with you. So the homeless people basically are turning around and getting the shaft once again. So while we got Chloe here for a minute, let's talk to Chloe and ask her.
In 50 years, we're going to have homeless people sleeping everywhere outside. And it's going to get to a point where suburban people are going to elect some staunch Republican leader who will put an executive order for the military just to shoot homeless people and kill them. And saying, well, they're homeless, they were a drain on society.
Well, the problem is I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk to you in general. Now, we're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Every time you talk about going to a mental hospital, you know they try to plunk you there because the homeless shelter is filled up to capacity and the mental hospital is filled with capacity. What would you do? Where would you go?
More likely, if I was gonna be thrown out of this town, I'd be going to Arizona. My mom doesn't want me in Ohio, so.
What about that one person who basically came on my channel the other day saying, send you home again?
That was a troll. More likely, I'll probably go somewhere in the Southwest. I got ideas out there. I mean, not just ideas, but
anyways,
pretty much a lead on possibly what I can possibly do out there. That'd probably be better than trying my luck in Seattle. I'd have better luck in a city where pretty much a city that's out in the middle of the effing desert.
So basically, what I'm trying to tell you guys is the hotel she was at is gone. Can you believe that? Chloe told you about 6 months ago they were shutting down. That's sad, literally. And yet, what I want to ask Chloe about for you all is, in your opinion, should they shut it down? And two is, if you think they should shut it down, what is your opinion? And don't lie about the condition of the building and the services. Tell the people about it.
Should have improved it. They should have improved the building. They should have improved the situation there. There are people who slept in the lounge area. People slept in the hallways.
And they also steal. Didn't you say there's a package of something?
There are a few people that would steal if you don't want your stuff. And there was one guy who somehow snuck into crisis respite and went into the girls' dorm. We saw some guy in our dorm, in like our little dorm area, right? Staff member yelled at him, telling him to get the F out. Well, I was in the women's dorm. There was like 6 beds in there. So the men's dorm has like 16 beds. There were a lot of guys in there, but our dorm was only 6 beds. There were only like 6 of us in there, us gals. One gal, she kept hitting the wall, yelling at night. She heard voices in her head. She was schizophrenic. And then another one, an old black lady, was schizophrenic, but she wasn't as bad. She didn't yell at that. She just muttered. And you didn't want to talk to her while she was having those moments. And then we had one lady who was in who had a walker, who was kind of like physically impaired. She's an artist. She does drawings and paintings, and she used to be a political activist back in the 60s. She was a hippie too, but yeah, she's an artist, and she lost her husband, and things went downhill when her husband died. And she has some sort of illness. She has like a lot of depression in the past. he had one girl who, a younger black girl, right, who had a boyfriend, right? But then she was sleeping with a guy in the respite program, cheating on her boyfriend. The guy she was with in the shelter found out about the boyfriend. They found out about each other, and neither of them wanted to see her. So she was like crying out so loud, making so much noise, crying, talking about killing herself. So they had to send her to the mental hospital again because she was suicidal. And then the sixth one was a younger girl who's been homeless her whole life. And she just doesn't really care to have a place because she's homeless her whole life.
Well, they say, congregating them, putting them in like sardines is bad because of the coronavirus, but they're also, saying that the building isn't up to par. What I have a question to Chloe about, literally have been wanting to ask this for a while, is, I know the situation, and you do too. Won't go into details of why you ended up in the DESC, because the hospital, but the question is the hospitals in the area, like Cedar, or not Cedar, Cascade, which I want to talk about Cascade for a minute with Chloe, and I want to talk to Chloe about Fairfax and Smoky. All right, they all send them to DSC. That's their policy. So my question to you is, what was the reason? Why you've been in the system? What was the reason they plopped you there? I mean, I know the reason.
Have anywhere else to put me.
No. What I mean, okay, so that was their only alternative.
It's the only thing that they're able to call. They can't just call regular halfway houses. That's not their job.
So they're the social workers like, oh, we're going to put you in a homeless shelter. Yeah, now that we kick you out.
And you have to find one of those program houses yourself.
So they basically give you the stepping stone, but then you got to work towards trying to figure it out.
Social workers don't want to do it all. Like, unlike in Arizona, on the other hand, Arizona, because with Phoenix, Arizona, their shelter system's full. Their overflow shelters were shut down. So Phoenix, they have to find a halfway house for you in Phoenix. So they usually dump you at one of TLC's locations at the halfway houses, which is a sober living house.
I see.
But that's the state of Arizona that does that. But that's Phoenix, and that's Maricopa County.
So Chloe, of course, ends up in the mental hospital, right? And they put her in the DESC, and what happened was, everyone knows this is when I got out of the mental hospital, and I had my left and I was going home, Chloe called me and said she has a train ticket ready to go home. So when I got off the train, I knew Chloe was going to be there. She wanted out of the DESC, and she told me how miserable it was there. Literally, they would basically control every aspect of her life. Here you go. Hello, everyone. I'm Conehead Moppy.
What did Moppy do the day he showed up in Seattle that day?
So when we got into Seattle, Moppy I was going to get some empty suitcases, and I got my coat on and everything, and I said, hey, we got to go and claim Chloe. I don't know where she is. Well, when Chloe and I got off the train, Chloe was waiting in a yellow overcoat, like London fog. Moppy stopped long enough for me to get he hopped from my chair, my first class chair, or business class, to the luggage rack. I grabbed the luggage, and then he started hopping all the way to Chloe, sniffing the air until he found the Chloe. Because he wanted the Chloe.
They came up to me, wanted me to hold him and just hug him.
And then we went to lunch. We paid $40 for luggage, and we went to lunch. So I went to lunch. And then when I got back from lunch, we got on the train, and then Chloe's mom, of course, at the time, called Chloe, because Chloe had a cell phone, right? I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Chloe's on the phone, right? And Chloe's mom calls, and there's good reception until you get to the peak of the Cascade. You know how it works. You've been on the train so many times. So all of a sudden, her phone goes, right? Her phone rings, and I don't remember what it was. I think what happened was Chloe turned around, right? And Chloe turned around, and I had money put away for a cab, right? So Chloe's mom calls her around, I think it was like 8 at night our time. It's like 11 here. And Chloe's sitting there, yeah, Mom, what do you want? Before then, it was like 5 o'clock or something, right? 5:36. We're on the thing, and first thing I hear, I'm next to Chloe, I'm half tired, I just got her. As phone rings, Chloe's like, oh, it's my mom. I hear Chloe's mom on the other end of the phone saying something like, wow, I called the shelter, but you weren't there. What's that noise? Chloe says, I'm on a train. Where are you going? Chloe says, I'm going home. What do you mean? She's like, I'm going back to Moses Lake. And then from there, it was hell for 4 months. But point is, she, the manager, on the other hand, is, everything else hell happened for 4 months. I finally gave up and moved out here.
I want to travel when the pandemic's over.
So basically what happened was she turns around, right? See, isn't he noisy? Noisy little cahooter, isn't he? Mommy. So basically what happened was, what do you want for dinner tonight?
Just have some ramen.
All right, I'll make some Salisbury steak, I guess. Or I'll eat up that mac and cheese that's expired a couple months.
I got another one in there for you that's not expired.
What flavor?
What you had yesterday.
The Sharp?
Yeah.
I want to get Havarti cheddar again. I might order some of that.
There's also that in there too.
Oh, yes. Havarti cheddar.
Sharp and Havarti.
Yeah, I'll take the Havarti, man.
That's what I last saw.
Yeah.
Poppy, stop making noise like that. I'm itchy though. How am I supposed to scratch myself with this phone up?
Yeah, well, it's good that you're signing up, man. Literally. So, anywho, like I said, me and Chloe, we got reviews to watch tonight, which then we got more reviews to watch tomorrow. Then we got more reviews to watch Monday through Wednesday. By the way, you're going to Anacortes, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Is that as far as you're going?
Right.
I need you to get me some cash back from my card. Unless you have a few dollars laying around for bus fare.
You mean for bus fare? Yeah.
Because you have a ticket.
No ferry ticket. But yeah, I'll get the bus. I'll get bus money somehow. I'll get cash back. What I could do is can't get cash back at the little store. Figure it out.
So, like I said, I'm going to go and, like I said, watch some reviews and stuff. I mean, I love YouTube. I mean, YouTube, the last few days I haven't been watching much YouTube. I've been watching, The Crown. My cousin Dinky, she just emailed me yesterday, messaged me yesterday, and she said, hey, I'm watching The Crown. Have you seen it? And I said, yeah, I just finished season 4. It's really an interesting thing. But, like I said, Chloe turned around and said, I'd more fit the profile of the royal because, she always calls me Your Majesty and she always bows to me. But the real problem with Chloe is Chloe's one of these social butterflies. You see, I'm posting my fingers like the social butterfly. So she needs to be social. Me, I could be in my house running on a treadmill and running the entire country behind closed doors. No one even know it's me,
I need to go out and just to see that there's people.
So with Chloe thinks I'd fit in good as royalty because I wouldn't need to. I don't need to be like the social controlling Charles and Camilla, or the family that got booted, Harry and Meghan, and then there's Kate and Williams or Willie. So
if
to me,
if I was ever part of a royal family, I'd probably be disowned for going out and just doing.
Me, if they said to me under the protocols, Justin, Your Highness, your Grace, Grace means Duchess or Duke. I want to let you know, Your Grace, that you can only shop 4 times. You can go out 4 times a year for groceries or for shopping. Your yearly shopping trips is, like Easter, Christmas, and maybe Thanksgiving or something, my birthday. Okay, cool. Well, that just leaves Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. So if I want to St. Patrick's Day, I couldn't go get beer at the pub, which one of these days, so. But yeah, she always tells me to fit in like a royal. I mean, I do royal duties and everything else, but, the queen never has to cook either. I mean, the queen's up from noon to night, basically handling the country, But I would think, people think, oh, being a king or queen's easy, You don't do anything. Actually, you do. The Queen of England learned from the King of England, her father. Like, he was doing something. He's got this little red box, right? Every queen gets the red box. They rename it. They have a box that says Queen and King. And when the king dies and the queen takes over, then the little red box changes. So they put the king's box in to bring out the queen, right? It says the queen, right? And so the guy says, the prime minister takes these lists and all the documents in this daily briefing box. And what she's got to go is read it all, right? But he says they take the important ones and put them on the bottom. So he says, this is how I do it. He takes the pack like this, right? And he says, all the important stuff's on the bottom. They don't want you to see. And Elizabeth, as the young girl, says, well, what do you do, Dad? Papa. And he flips it over to the other side and goes, right on the table. He says, this is why I tackled these ones first. So then even after I tackled them first, it still goes to the bottom. And they don't realize I've tackled it all because they don't want all the important stuff, the useless stuff on the top. So he told her this. Well, the queen's got all these things to go to. She's got to cut ribbons and she's got to open stuff and she's got ceremonials and stuff to do. I mean, people say, oh, the queen's easy. You could just get unlimited money. You can buy what you want. It's not about being the wealthiest. What it is you're a king or queen and you have money. And the queen does run a business. She likes the horse race. And she's got some real thoroughbred, purebred. So she also likes to do dog shows, like corgi dogs. But point is Chloe looks at me and she's like, you can sit in a chair all day, watch TV, or do your royal duties and still come out ahead. The thing is, unless someone's trained, okay, to do it. I mean, look, Charles would probably basically burn all our... It's Charles. Yeah, he'd probably burn all the briefings. Oh, well, Camilla, Mom's gone. I'm going to burn this. I don't need to know. I mean, literally, he's like, he's like, when I'm king. It's like when he's king. I mean, what if they super step him to see Charles? I mean, or Willie. I mean, and no one knows. I mean, literally, a lot of people say the expenses of having 5 castles. The royal family has more than that. Some of them are retired or some are given to other people like the Duchess and, whatever. And a lot of the royal family, lives in palaces on palace grounds like Clarence House and so forth. So, whereas everyone else, the queen has her own room and everything, Buckingham. But the problem is, Yeah, I mean, literally. So the queen, you know, people say, oh, it's easy. She rings a little bell. Excuse me, Angeline, I need you to wipe my ass. I mean, for all we know, she's got a bidet next to her toilet. She just sits there with hot water, comes up there, warm water, and cleans out her backside. I mean, literally, the royal family, no one, I mean, literally, the private life of the royal family, what glimpses you get, people don't realize that the queen's going to have to teach someone over the years how to handle the royal papers and what to do. A lot of people think, oh, the queen, I mean, literally, I mean, there's so many protocols. I mean, the queen literally doesn't hug people. She might kiss and hug her husband and her kids, but for example, they showed a thing where Diana hugged the queen, and the queen was so furious. The protocols were broken. But at the same time, there's protocols. I mean, when you go in, you gotta bow and then walk up to the queen, kiss her hand or cheeks of your family, and then you got to do your business. And when the queen's done with you, it's like ding, 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 ding. And then you buzzes and you leave the room, and that's it. You're done. You're like done. And you get her, so the queen is so busy. The queen doesn't have the time to focus on the Commonwealth. I mean, she did. She'd basically be like Lincoln in the 1800s, opening the door and being like, average citizens, But now you got, presidential entries and duties, and then you have like royalty duties, and you got a schedule to keep. I mean, literally, you have your lunchtime, and then the queen takes her vacation, right? You know what the queen does in Balmoral in the summertime? On her off time when she isn't fishing or hunting, she loves fishing and hunting. She spends her time writing up and pre-writing everything for the 750 to 1,000 cards that she's got to send out for thank yous to well wishers for Christmas. I mean, literally, what does that tell you? That tells you the queen is basically very respectful. A lot of people say, oh, it costs money. I mean, dissolve it, right? Let a presidency or a parliamentary, right? Something that doesn't require monarchy because it costs too much. I mean, did you know the queen has approximately 25 various cars? They retired the yacht. The yacht's not used anymore. They fly when they fly. Otherwise, they have the royal helicopter. I mean, literally, you don't hear about the royal helicopter. They use the royal train a lot too. Still, unfortunately, Parliament could say, "Oh no, you can't. No yacht, no train." Then that you're stuck with the airplane, helicopter. Eventually, they'll be like, "Oh well, I mean, literally, the thing is, the reason they're doing air travel more and less train travel is or helicopter travel is for two reasons. Every place the queen goes, whether it be Balmoral, Windsor, Holyrood, Buckingham, or Edinburgh or any other place, at one time the queen drove herself at times. But the problem is every place she has cars and stuff's already there. So it's no problem. Problem is if you go from Buckingham to Windsor and you're going by carriage, that's over 100 miles. If you go by train, well, you got to basically give the queen leeway on her train that goes from point A to point B, which means British travel is slowed. And then on top of that, you got, so they do the helicopter thing mostly now. But at the same time, they don't want to tie up the roads. I mean, think of it. Queen wants to go from Buckingham to, say, Scotland, right? And she wants to go to Scotland, and all of a sudden she's driving, right? That means they got to close the roads off, do this, do that, block everything for the queen's path. So instead, it's better to fly and then utilize the area, But if you notice, the queen, even when the queen was at Buckingham, she only left for her other places at certain times of the year. Otherwise, she wasn't heard or seen inside that palace of hers. So she had to deal with things. I mean, there was an episode of Crown where the young queen in episode season 1 or 2 is looking for a dress, right? And then she walks into a room. Right? And Chloe would love this. Actually, no, Chloe would hate it. She would hate the fact that Chloe'd walk in, like this, and they'd be like, "So, Madam Chloe, here's the 12 girls, or 16 or whatever, right?" I know Chloe's like, what is she getting at? And they have them all modeling the gowns. Each one's wearing this dress. And Chloe goes, "Oh, I'd like that dress there. That would look really good. I got the boobs and everything." And all of a sudden they say, okay, well, the guy that has the 12 girls that are doing the the catwalk. He turns around, and then Chloe can say, well, I want this one for tomorrow's dinner time, and then, so maybe Chloe will buy 6 of them. And then Chloe, after 30 minutes in there talking to the tailor, leaves. The girls got paid. The guy got paid. And let's just say Duchess Chloe, jokingly, of course, ended up with 6 new dresses. I mean, literally, that's how they work it with the queen. They want something, they send out, apparently now it's online, but before then they'd send a catalog like this. Then the queen would look it over and say, well, I want this one, tell me the difference. Buy what she wants. And then before finishing the sale, this is just a rumor, they deliver her, say, 50 different types of cameras. And she says, and not thinking about price. Oh, this one's great. This one, is it interchangeable? Yada, yada, yada. And they say, okay. So then she starts getting the lenses she needs. But in the meantime, they turn around, and they do that. It's like they bring in, the royal family likes fly fishing. They bring in certain fly rods. It might be Orvis. It might be Hardy. And as Chloe knows, Hardy changed most of manufacturing to Korea. So they don't make anything in Alnwick, England anymore, Almswick. And so basically what happened is the queen gave warrants to products like Hardy products, Orvis products, etc. So, the queen basically goes, and as long as the product is what the queen needs and is endorsed by the queen, the companies in England will make the products properly for the queen. I mean, literally. I mean, some of the, Chloe, of course, would hate it because they'd have the girls dancing and stuff. Or say, for example, you want a new TV and they're like, oh, the queen has 50 different models. So the night before, they set everything up, while the queen's sleeping. And then in the morning, queen does her business, goes down and says, oh, these are the TVs I was choosing. And then you choose the right one by the color match. Oh, I want that 100-inch. And then you get literally, and then finally, I mean, literally, that's how, and I mean, they don't send, the queen doesn't walk into a GameStop and be like, yes, little Willie wants this. No, she just basically opens up a catalog with anything she wants. It's like, I want this, and it's done, Hey, Dinky. So basically, that's, watching The Crown and getting ready to watch Reign or, watch Tudor. It's going to be interesting seeing how well it plays out for the modern royal family. I mean, literally, I'm looking for season 5 because I just finished season 4. And I get to laugh at Dinky. Sorry, Chloe, I'm going to laugh at her. Ha, ha, ha. I finished seasons 1 through 4 in about 3 days, Missy. So that's 40 hours of television I watched. Vegging out here, not doing YouTube. And frankly, we're talking about the royal family, which Chloe keeps telling me I'm more like the royal queen because she calls me Her Majesty, Her Grace, bows to me. Oh, not to mention she goes and gets my groceries, doesn't want me getting sick, etc., from the coronavirus. And, then I do my royal duties by ordering Chloe to get her cleaning done, by the way. I still got to get to the post office. I'll probably do it Tuesday and send out that thing for you, a money order in Corey's name. But anyways, right now I'm not worried about my laptop. I haven't booted up 3 days. Fixed it, and then, So anyways, my royal duties tonight is I got to watch reviews. Yeah. So basically, but like I said, when it comes to certain things, However, I will tell you this, okay? And when you get into season 4 of The Crown, I actually had to Google this, right? The Queen Mother Mary, who died a while ago, never told the family secret. So apparently, on one episode, the Queen basically was, and this is true, she actually went to her private archive, looked it up, and found out 2 of her first cousins died. Well, she heard rumors about something or other, and I can't remember what it was, but there's these 2 girls, right? They're disabled. They're like autism, retardation, and you saw that episode? Anyways, they had autism, Asperger's, etc., Down syndrome. They were all right. Anyways, there's 5 of the members in this mental hospital, right? And no one knew anything about them. right? So one day someone said something to the Duchess, the Princess Margaret. Margaret was investigating, sent in a friend of hers who's a priest, Derek. Derek came back and said, look, you got something to tell your sister, so the queen, because the queen basically says, I'm not just your sister, I'm the queen of I'm the crown, I'm the queen. And she makes it really hurt. That's the only time she basically says, she says, I'm not just your mother, I am the queen. I mean, literally, and she even gives time limits on her own children. So I have to tell you a theory I have. But anyways, Justin and Dink, basically what happened is she sent Dustin in, and Dustin reported back to Margaret. Margaret reported back to it was Margaret's therapist that spilled the beans about the mental hospital and said, oh, you do know. And she's like, oh, no. So they went and said deceased. So she sent Derek in to investigate. And Derek was open-minded and came back out. He was becoming a Catholic priest. So Derek went to Princess Margaret and said, hey, there's not 2 people in your bloodline that's disabled. There's 5. And so they did the bloodline thingy back and found out Queen Mary, and her husband, or one of her sons had several kids that were disabled, mentally disabled, autistic, Asperger's, Down syndrome, you name it. They were the most kindest people. And every time they saw their cousin on TV, they would get up and they would pray. And people said, oh, you're not part of the royal family. But in the end, and I read the book, the stories online while doing research, these people basically, the queen basically made sure that their voice was heard, because 5 of them in the royal families put in a mental hospital, and then this doctor says, oh no, it comes from this strain and this person has it, right? Then, when I was doing some research more on stuff, here's what I found about the royal family. Okay. Now, it goes all the way back to 1066, William the Conqueror. Unfortunately, the bloodline started with different houses. Now, when Aaron did my bloodline and genealogy from Norway, he also did it on the Germanic side. And we came all the way back from the Saxon, Coburg, Gotha bloodline, and it went all the way back into the BCs, all the way back to the Roman empires, all the way back to the Greek empires, and he just kept hitting royal lines that went all the way back to fucking ancient Egypt, and ancient Israel, and then split off, and then eventually with Rome and stuff. So Aaron was into genealogy. Now on my mother's side, and that's why we always joke with Dinky about her favorite food being Norwegian sausages. Can you get? Never mind. She's got her hands covered. You don't get it, do you? Never. No, can't you see how I can't say that with a straight face? Her favorite food is Norwegian sausage. Okay. So basically, my Norwegian family came from the royal family of Norway. But on my father's side, not my mother's side, we came back from the royal Saxon line, which goes all the way Saxon, Gothic, etc. So then it split off, then we hit a line from Norway and then Denmark and then, Germany, Austria, Finland, if you didn't remember. And then it split off, to Rome and then to other light royal households like Transylvania and something that went all the way to Rome. From Rome, it split off to Syria and all those other ancient kings. And it ended up in Egypt. So Aaron basically found this bloodline thing and he tracked it. And he spent 6 years or so doing my genealogy. It's somewhere around the house. But, he did my genealogy from my mom's side and went back to like 90 BC. But when he did my dad's side, it went way, way back. Through the eras, where you wouldn't even think, the Asian countries had something, So it was really interesting, but there is things. So my theory is this, okay? The Queen of England and the King of England. The King of England can't get any sex much, right? He has 4 kids with the Queen. And my theory is when he was younger, he was committing adultery because he was angry. He He's going to every port, having women everywhere, screwing women. And the queen, of course, is at home doing her job. Being thing, if I was royalty and I was back in the 19 if I was Queen Elizabeth II back then, I would have fucking kept Secret Service agents and guards watching him do like a hawk, briefing the queen and being like, Your Highness, your husband slept with Willy Wonka in the penis factory, or whatever. I mean, literally, I would basically be briefing. So then I'd be like, so you've done all these things in 5 weeks. 7 women times 5 is 7 times 5 is 35. So at least 35 women you banged. Divorce. Plain and simple. But no, it doesn't happen that way. But, then, the king finally stands down and says, well, I want my family. I want this. I want that. I want this, and he finally gets what he wants to a point. But eventually, he's basically upset because his career, his life was taken. And his family put him, in the hard schools and everything. Then, he didn't have much love. And then Queen fell in love with him. And then eventually they married. And, they were like the Duke and Duchess of or Prince and Princess of something or other, Edinburgh. And then all of a sudden, the royal family lineage goes down, right? And then all of a sudden, the king passed away. Queen Elizabeth too. She takes over, and then his Navy career's gone. His life's gone. He's got to walk 6 or 8, 10 paces behind the queen. I mean, literally, it would fucking suck, right? All of a sudden, you're basically giving. I mean, Chloe asked me, what would happen if I was given the kingdom of England? They won't give it to me. No one wants someone like me. I'm outspoken. But I understand the queen, literally. I mean, if you look at the things, people say, well, the queen doesn't like the crown. Well, maybe the queen doesn't, but maybe the queen would think about it and realize that the crown's basically telling her, look, you might be the sovereign, like, king of Japan, but the problem is when it comes to the Queen of England, she's got all these realms, and slowly but surely her realms were taken overthrown. So she lost a lot of land. At one time, the royal empire was like the Roman Empire. They had almost half the world or more. Then all of a sudden, and now it's getting slower and slower. Eventually, what's she going to be? The queen of eventually Australia and Canada will want their freedoms fully. Then you're going to have islands and everything else. Eventually, it'll just be Ireland and Scotland and Northern Wales and Ireland. And all of a sudden, it goes down to, I mean, you got to look at it from that point of view. I mean, literally, you don't see Norway or Denmark complaining about Greenland. I mean, they have like a little union and everything, but you get the idea. So, to me, it's not about landmass anymore, the empire. I mean, literally, the queen hasn't traveled in probably, 10, 20 years out to her realms. Literally, when they do go, I remember hearing when she went to Melbourne, they were throwing fruits at her and vegetables. I mean, literally, it's like fruits and vegetables, so. But anyways, like I said, fruits and vegetables, so. But yeah, I mean, literally, people say, oh, we don't need a monarchy because the prime minister does the job. The prime minister does the jobs. Then the prime minister scoops up everything and puts in a weekly thing, 7 days a week, delivers it to the palace, unless the queen's, unless the queen, say, at Balmoral or Windsor or Holyrood or Edinburgh or one of her other castles or Buckingham. And what happens? I mean, literally, they could just fax it over on a secure thing. Her secretary puts it all up and puts it in her little box. So they can use like faxes and emails and stuff, secured stuff, right? And all of a sudden, the queen can go through it. And then on Tuesdays, unless she's on vacation, prime minister comes by and she says, well, what are you going to do about the strike? Or what are you going to do about this? Or what are you going to do about that? And that's it. I mean, literally. And then the queen, literally, the queen gets briefed on almost everything anyway. So to me, if the queen is the queen, then why do they need a prime minister? Well, it's a constitution thing, plain and simple. But you guys get the idea, right? So it's a constitution thing. So, excuse me for a second. Let's see. Mm. Uh, so basically, my cousin Dinky is watching me, but she says I enjoy the historical side. Well, yeah, I mean the Crown of England doesn't like it because they take some liberties from it, the Queen of England. But I think the real reason the Queen doesn't like the Crown is basically, honestly through her own eyes that she's, I mean literally some of the royal family call Buckingham Palace and the other areas a prison within a prison where you can just jump in a car and drive 5 miles to fish, but still you're a prisoner because you can't leave your house. They call Buckingham Palace a prison. I mean, literally. But at the same time, the queen is the sovereign queen of the land. So you can't just sit there and say, "I'm sorry, Your Highness." You can't just walk. I mean, literally. Chloe thinks a royal family member should be the type of family members that you meet and greet their people and say, "Well, what's the country need?" Or have a little thing where the queen has coffee once a week with her constituents and say, "I'm your royal queen. What can you do?" That's what Chloe thinks. Me, I think. No, I'm not gonna smell that. I think I gotta put that in the dirty hamper. Anyways, I gotta make sure the heater's clear. Be sure to turn on the heater real quick for a bit. It's getting nippy in here again. That's the thing. Current temperature is 39 degrees out, so I got the heater going again. So, but no, I like the thing about it, But I also like the fact, that the queen can tell people to go away after she's done talking to them, or, literally. Like her son goes up and says, "I want to talk to Mummy," and and they're like, "Okay," and all of a sudden it's like, "Nope, can't do it till tomorrow," and then all of a sudden they're angry. But the point is the queen's busy. I mean, literally, she doesn't even have time for her own kids. Okay, so here's the real problem with real family values. Okay, the queen's the head sovereign of the nation. People sit there and say, "Oh well, the job's hard." Every king wants to bring reforms to his kingdom or queen. The queen is basically following the crown first, which is fine, because she's got that mentality. She can't play favorites. She can't play favorites to Will. She can't play favorites to Kate. She can't play favorites to her 3 grandkids. But the problem with the royal monarchy is nowadays we have technological advances. We have the internet. We have the news. I mean, literally, if I was given the position and the queen just said, "Here's the entire kingdom," I want the prime minister to be put in his place, I would first be doing like Donald Trump. I'd be watching CNN and other news media outlets in England to find out what the news thing is. And once I got that idea, I would make the right decisions. Even if my box was filled up and it said something top secret, like, the queen gets information too. But the point is, literally, I was watching the beginning of a movie that I want to watch with Chloe today called The Queen. Basically, it's like 3 a.m, the king of the Prince of Wales, Charles, gets a call while he's with Camilla. He's sleeping with Camilla and gets a call, and it says, the Princess of Wales is in a car crash, and then all of a sudden, things happen, and then it gets to the queen, and the queen's sitting there, right? And she's like, worried, and stuff, and then her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, is like, "What trouble is she in now?" And they're like, "Well, she's in a car crash," right? Well, then the entire family, like the queen mother and the queen, whatever, the queen's other grandmother, whatever, the ones that help rule the monarchy. It's like, what do you do? And then all of a sudden, they're watching on the TV or whatever. It says Prince Williams, or, not Prince Williams, Princess Diana got killed. And all of a sudden, you're sitting there going, "Wow," and then the prime minister says, "Oh, shouldn't we do Prime Minister Blair, shouldn't we have like a big memorial?" And the queen's like, couldn't answer. The queen couldn't literally answer, right? The queen couldn't answer, and so to me, the queen has to be impartial. But look at these grand coronations, these grand ceremonies for, end of life, the ceremony is of, putting a king in the ground or whatever. I mean, this costs so much. People, but that's the thing. You know, not like the president who spends billions of dollars flying everywhere. The royal family's got expenses and stuff too. But the problem is every prime minister goes in and says, you know, we got to cut corners or we got to do this. And you know, with me, you know, I mean, unless there's fish, for me, if I was ruling, I'd be like, well, where's the local fishing holes? You know, that'd be the first thing I'd be asking. I'd be fly fishing. I'd be out there flying. Oh, you know, you have 4 castles and 3 of them have streams and rivers and good for that. I'd be out there, you know, that's it, you know, fly fishing, you know, and no letting my thing fill up, you know, and I'd be like, oh, what's today's news, you know, or I'd have an advisor basically go through it and look it over for me, unless an advisor, say for example, I was royal queen, okay, and I turned around and I hired Dinky, right? Dinky, I'd be like, okay, £1 million a year, you get to sit on your butt and go through my personal secret documents. It's in my box for me. Brief me. She can come out. Hey, homies. Oh, Your Highness. You know, there's this, and this, and the U.S. did this. Okay, so we'll take care of the U.S. thing first, and then we'll go and look over the solutions for these. Done. Let someone else read it, and they can brief me and give me their opinions. Where the Queen is the only one with the eyes, so she can't sit there and be like, "Excuse me, geez, what do you think?" I'd be like, okay, you know, what do we do? I mean, the president has a team where they go in and they're like, oh, well, you know, Intel says this and Intel said that, and this is what we got. President says, okay. Whereas the Queen, she's got all this information, and the prime minister sends it to her, but that's it. You know, the buck stops with the prime minister and the Queen, and maybe the prime minister's cabinet, but everyone else, you know, I mean. So I'm getting off track here for a second. Because I think the royal family, a lot of them suffer from depression and bipolar borderline. Because look how it is. I mean, look at the Queen of England. Her father died. She had to take up the mantle, which she's done a fabulous job doing. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, I feel sorry for the Queen on the grounds, and because she feels. I mean, literally. I mean, look. I don't mind being in my house, outside my house, waiting, but during the pandemic, I prefer to stay here. Unfortunately, so eventually what happens? You know, depression. I mean, literally, how would you feel if you spent 6 years, 7 years following protocols? You follow protocols, but how the hell do you follow protocols? You have to have discipline. Me, the pandemic, they're like, you know, breaking news, no travel, you know, Thanksgiving. And you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of my cousin Dinky. No traveling in Thanksgiving. Does that mean her family ain't going to be around for Christmas and Thanksgiving? I mean, literally, I told my cousin Dinky the other day, she was upset at me. Well, you should tell me for canceling appointment. I had a feeling 3 days before, got a vision from God, don't travel. Plus the fact that something's coming down the pipe. I told Chloe this. What happened? Something came down the pipe. Turns out, good Lord was warning me. So, you know, plain and simple. But anyways, you know, the crown is really good. Which reminds me, I should ask Dinky, have you seen all... So... I mean, literally, so my thing is, knowing what Chloe goes through. Now, people say to me, only way you're going to get away from Chloe is if you're evicted, if Chloe gets you evicted, etc. But here's the problem. Is I go through a lot of hell with Chloe every day, right? Now, think of the Duke of Edinburgh. He committed adultery. He's done so many things, supposedly by the Crown and other documentaries, that supposedly, that all in all, the Queen just looks the other way. But he lost his naval career. He lost all this stuff. And he was angry. I mean, literally, it's like, the wife becomes the queen, and you're basically second citizen. You have to submit to her and her authority. I mean, literally, that's the real problem with royalty is once you become king or queen, everyone submits to one person, right? Whatever happened to support, submitting to God, right? Well, anyway, so what I thought is I think because the king was doing all this before Charles was born, I think the king developed borderline and narcissistic personality disorder, the Duke of Edinburgh. Then, when Charles was born, it was passed on to Charles. And then it was passed on to Andrew, Edward, and I believe, the other royal family, and Anne. And then, Charles, of course, could have given it to Charles and Diana could have given it to Willie, but Willie looks like he's normal from what I can understand. But Willie also takes his duty seriously. Harry, on the other hand, was a rebel. Wanted to be a normal kid. Except now his titles were stripped. But the thing about Harry is you look at it. Harry was, they said, alcoholic, drug user, and stuff like that, right? And the problem is that if you look at the current monarchy line, Queen Elizabeth II did great. Charles, he basically was committing adultery while being with Diana, while trying to, make things work. Then he just didn't want to give it up. He wanted Camilla. And then, another second wedding price and everything else, taxpayers have to pay for it for Camilla. But the point is the problem is that happens, and then Camilla, and then it goes down the line, right? So I think what happened is several of the royal family members that committed adultery and some ended up with borderline. I mean, literally, you could see it. I mean, literally, they even said Diana had borderline, which means 50% of it could have been passed on to Harry and Charles or William. Now, Willie basically knows his roles. Harry just, was following someone else who could have been a narcissistic, greedy person that didn't like following the rules, But when you're part of the royal family, you have to follow rules. You have to bow. You got to kiss the queen's hand or cheeks. You let the queen talk. You don't talk first. The only rule I'd break in the royal family is I'd be looking at the queen like, you know what? If I'm part of your royal family, I'm not giving up lobster, shrimp, king crab, snow crab, or crab itself. I mean, if you can live on salmon, you can live on halibut and everything else, but you can't live on shellfish. Sorry to say, I want my damn shellfish. I love shellfish. Shrimp is something that I would never give up. The royal family can't eat lobster, by the way. Or sushi or other things, from what I understand. Me, I'd be like, not gonna fly with me, man. You know, freaking, what. So tonight's plan is, like I said, reviews. So cousin was just talking to me about they're on season 2, and I'm like, dude, I'm waiting for season 5, But then again, I've already watched 2 other TV shows, and I think my money's worth on Netflix. Hulu, I haven't got my money's worth yet, but I did get my money's worth out of Showtime. So I got to figure out how to work on you know, HBO, and I haven't got my money's worth out of BritBox this month. I did get my $5 last month when I watched all the Sherlock Holmes. I do got to work on Elementary still. I think that's on Netflix or Hulu. I think it's Hulu, so I'll get back into season 16, episode 16, season 1, and work my way to season 7. So I'll get my money's worth there. But do I have a plan for Thanksgiving? Well, yes. Like I was talking earlier in the video, I got to cook. Chloe's got to clean. So I got to cook turkey or lamb or prime rib. Safeway does got prime rib. Prime rib might be just what I need. Buy 20-pound block at prime rib. So that's one of the items that I was thinking about doing. Getting pie, making some pies, cookies, cakes. Do prime rib. Maybe I'll do prime rib. I mean, be ready to go for Christmas. Do prime rib this year. Maybe I'll do prime rib next month too. I don't have that idea. I'm not a big turkey fan, but prime rib sounds good. And you know what? I can always see myself in a nice little bottle of wine. Yeah, well, I mean, I have turkey in my freezer. I can cook anytime to make soups. I was going to stretch it out, make 3 days of baked turkey, 3 days of turkey soup, be done. I also was going to plan to make some lamb stew and some lamb soup soon, too. I just need to get some vegetables for the lamb stew. I could probably eat lamb stew and beef stew for about 2/3 of December, and I'd be still set. I mean, our supplies are really good, and we've stocked up, but that might be a good idea, Mm-hmm. I'm gonna raise the prime rib $3 a pound. Last year it was cheaper. It was like $4.99 a pound. Now it's like $8. But you know what? Most people don't have the money to buy a whole block. I might just buy the whole block to have it. But if I just get a 10-pound block of prime rib, I can still I can still get my my free turkey and my ham at the same time. I don't know. I mean, Amazon doesn't really sell ham or turkey. I don't know. Maybe they do fully cooked turkeys. That'd be interesting to find out. But if I get like 10 pounds of prime rib, 20-pound turkey, and a 10-pound ham, I'd be set for freaking at least 3 weeks on food. And what's really going to bother people is the 27th of November and the 30th of November. People are going to be really bothered because those are the days that are Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And a lot of people don't, I don't know anything about the free turkey. I know you got to go through a certain website and they refund you the money for it and they send it to you in the mail. But me, I'm just going to go through Safeway, I think. Maybe I'll buy two tickets and two rides. It's in Chloe out to Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday stay in. And Wednesday we can get prepared for Thanksgiving. So I'm just gonna play it by ear. So excuse me for a moment. Oh, I'm right here. So I had to ask my cousin Dinky what she thinks. She isn't replying. So, anyways, like I said, it's 9 o'clock. I got to do my nightly royal duties and then reviews, and then I got to make dinner. So, I want to get dinner prepared soon. So, all right. So, does anyone have anything else to say? Because I do want to get the oven preheated and watch some reviews. I mean, it's 9 o'clock, and you've gotten your update. You guys got your update, so I'm being reviewed them. Anyone else have anything to say? My cousin Dinky said something to me today. Let me look what she said. I keep getting distracted from girls on Instagram with huge boobs, you know. I just love boobs, you know. Made you something. We'll be mailing you out a box here in the next week or so. Cool. Yep, so I'm just waiting to see what my cousin's got to say about turkey, prime rib, or, you know, whatever, you know. You guys sold me a prime rib, actually. Had me a prime rib dinner with some red wine. Yeah, well, I love the leftovers. I can make prime rib soup. I can make leftover prime rib. I love leftover prime rib. Next day, cut off some prime rib, you know, you put it in the oven for 30 minutes to cook it. You get done. I'm telling you, it's delicious. 3 days of prime rib. Then the fourth day, you basically take what's left of the prime rib roast, and then you put barbecue sauce on it. I have barbecued ribs because what's left is the rib meat. So if you get 3 to 7 bones, you're fucking doing massive, tasty foods. Then when you're done, right, of Thanksgiving, yeah, and exactly, flavor is good too. And then the next few days later afterwards, right, because you got that free turkey from Safeway, take that turkey, you dress it up nicely, right? And then right in the beginning of December, right, Justin, you make the turkey and you eat that for 3 days. And you make soup out of it for 3 days. And then by the time December 7th comes, I think December 7th is when my uncle died. You basically turn around and then you plan for your Christmas dinner. And if you got a ham too on your, you know, which I'm planning to buy a ham, you take from the 7th to the 9th, you make ham. Then you make ham and bean soup, then bean and bacon soup, and then bean and ham soup. And then when you get done, you're almost at Christmas time. Then you make another prime rib. You do that for a few days, and prime rib soup or whatever, or ribs. And by the time you get done, December 31st is another prime rib roast. And then January 1st is another prime rib roast. And then you go into the turkeys and then the hams. And by the time January ends and you get into February for Valentine's Day, you either have more prime rib left in your freezer, or you cook a lamb, or you cook a ham for Valentine's Day, and you stretch it all the way out to Easter. I'm thinking prime rib for Christmas. That or a lamb. My husband did the lamb, and I got like an 8-pound block of lamb. I got 2 lambs that are 8 pounds each. So, but I can do lamb and I can do prime rib. And lamb is really good after the next day. You just take your lamb roast after you eat what you want. And as your lamb roast gets smaller and smaller, keep reheating it in the oven. And then day 3 or day 4, it's all gone. And then you can sit back and smile because you've had, you know, So my cousin loaded on ham. You know. But yeah, I think I might do prime rib for Thanksgiving, Christmas. Sorry, Dinky, if you're still watching this. I really do like that. For somebody tuning in, this is a video about a general chat. You know, there's nothing literally to talk about. I haven't been on a few days because I've been watching TV. Now I want to get back to TV. And I want to get to my reviews. And then when my reviews are done, I want to get my thing moved up, you know. So, you know, that's something I might do, you know. Thanks, you know, and then I do New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with roasts too. So, you know, I could always do chickens or hams or whatever. And then January comes and then February comes and then March comes and, you know, but eventually I'm going to have to devote almost all of my money for replacing stuff that we use because, you know, it's almost December and, you know, with the toilet paper, paper towel scares, we still got boxes and boxes of toilet paper, paper towels. But when those run out, I got to restock them. And by then, you know, so, but yeah, I got reviews to watch, more reviews to watch. My green pen. Where's my green pen? Christmas season, so I want to use green. Here it is. Green. So I got to go through some reviews because, as you know, the deadline for ordering stuff for Christmas is the 3rd. And so December 3rd is order supplies for Christmas, you know. I should email my sister one of these days, ask her what she really wants for Christmas. Dinky knows. You know, I need to get the computer I had everything set. I should tell my cousin Dinky that. There. So, anyways, I ordered my cousin's fly rods. I backlogged. That's what I was telling my cousin Dinky. I was going through some of my fly rods today, you know. Chloe found her fiberglass one. She's asked me all questions like, how old is it? And I said, oh, it's from 1950 and really in good condition. I said, we need to get you a rod. We need to get you a reel for 5 weight and that can hold the 5-6 spools, so we can actually have 6 weight spools and then try 4 weight, and so we can balance out 4 to 6 because we don't know what the, you know. So, you know. I like Valentine's Day because I can sit down and make a nice roast, you know. You know, Valentine's Day, Justin, we're still going to be stuck in pandemic. I mean, literally, this virus is relentless. But I'm still here, waiting for Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's. And, you know, I take mine day by day, you know. I might do bacon and eggs or sausage and eggs for Christmas morning, you know, or even bratwurst and eggs. You just you know, that's healthy too, you know. I'm not taking the vaccine. Fortunately, as Kamala Harris said, if Donald Trump's using the army to do it, I refuse. Sorry to say, I'm not taking the vaccine. I don't trust the vaccine. So, for the things done, I should get coffee. There we go. So, like I said, I got reviews to do, which I should tell my cousin because I don't want to be here too long, you know. So I just told her, yes, I got the coffee brewing. I gotta get my dinner prepared. All right, so my coffee's brewing and my um, coffee's brewing and my my coffee's brewing and my dinner is being prepared. People ask me all the time, well, how can you stand ramen and how can you stand one of those TV dinners? You know what I say to them? I say, you know what? You bring in pizza, you bring in wings, you bring in sandwiches. You just eat sandwiches and stuff, right? But if you bring in not the pizza, but if you bring in, those things, you don't need forks. But if you make it at home, TV dinner, all it requires is a fork and a plate. That's it. Ramen bowl or cup requires just a fork. Now, if it's regular ramen, it requires a bowl and a pot. So any way you look at it, it works really well, you know. And I never knew a tea kettle could come in handy. I always thought tea kettle was a waste of time. Turned out that was wrong. So that's something I wanted to share with you all, you know. So tonight's dinner is Salisbury steak. Tomorrow is mac and cheese. One day, I don't know. You know. Wait for the coffee to finish up. Check my newspaper. See, doesn't that sound good? Puff, puff, puff. You know, the coffee. So, lady says the hospital should be giving free testing. They won't. So, why should we even basically worry? You know. All right, sleep well, Justin. So, anyways, so Justin's leaving. I'm gonna leave then. Have my heater going? Yes, I do. Gotta check on the Southern States. I'll mix up some coffee then. I like a good cup of coffee now and then, you know. Well, everyone, comments have petered out, and I want to watch reviews. So as soon as my dinner goes in and I set the timer, I'm out. So It's going to be reviews, followed by TV time. Good cup of coffee. Hopefully we can get better coffee soon. So I have nothing much to talk about because, like I said, I'm all talked out. I got reviews to watch. I got things to do tonight. So everyone, like I said, once my food goes in the oven, it's review time. So all right, everyone, still waiting. Oh yeah. Alexa, set a timer, 70 minutes. All right, everyone. There's 4 people watching. 1 person, no one commenting. So All right, everyone. So please subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggest hit the like, subscribe button. So it's funny for your family, including your dogs, cats, or bunny service dogs. Thanks for watching, everyone. God bless you, and have a good night. And look for my new video tomorrow or Monday. My schedule is Monday, Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'm taking the break Friday through Sunday off for next week. So there you go. You got my schedule. So if any of you is watching this, please tune in. Thanks, everyone, and God bless you in everything you do.